Lee.
That was perfect. Then Paris was straight away.
So welcome to Pathfinder. Today we're playing a campaign that you've probably seen on both Lee's and Ad's streams, Toebroken and Ubik's streams. We're on episode 7, believe it or not. So a quick summary of what happened in the previous session. So you guys arrived outside of Olgri's Hall. You went in, had a chat with Olgri, very pleasant bloke. He sent you on a mission. And that mission was to find out who stole the eyes from the figurehead that's attached to his bar. They stole the glass eyes from it. So you guys went out. You went to the local logging camp, which were the prime suspects because there were new people in the area, and you found it wasted. No people, completely barren. The huts, it looked like people were starving, completely just nothing really there. And you came across a pit in the ground where there was a woman lying there and a corpse. On the way, you found an undead hand, which led you to the corpse. And once it was reunited with its owner, the corpse desiccated, and the ring that you basically had on you broke. So you know that some reason these rings and these dead bodies undead bodies are linked somehow. You woke the woman, who was a young lady named Flynn, who was part of the party that broke into the cairn and robbed it and looted it and ran away and has all these undead after them. So they've disturbed the sleeping. You guys got back to Olgri's Hall. You were on standby most of the night, and then while you were playing axe throwing with a group of just what you thought were kindly NPCs, they attacked you. They turned out to be assassins. You fought them bitterly and to the death. The leader killed himself. Everyone else was either knocked unconscious or died, and the only survivor was a knocked unconscious bowman who Olgri stashed in a barrel, and basically there's a couple of holes in it which you can use to communicate with him. You guys had a sleep in the hall, and it is morning time. So Lee, you've got some new spells. What are you going to do with them?
New spells?
Morning, Charles. I've got one use for your spells this morning.
You've got refresh spells. You've got your full allotment.
Oh, right. What's is Ubik alive at the moment?
I'm on 6 HP.
You're on 6 HP. I don't know what I'm on. Let's have a look what I'm on.
I'm feeling a bit stiff this morning.
And you need healing.
And I need healing.
Okay. He needs a bit of bleeding touch.
Kick your
You need that.
Right, okay. Let's what is it? D8 for health.
1d8 plus 1 to heal him.
Come on, Lee.
I've got the power. Or do I do bleeding touch? -10. Right.
Oh, 6. Not bad. So I can only go up to my maximum of 10, can't I? I can't go over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only go up to your maximum health.
Back to 10. Nice.
Back to 10 you go.
Thank you very much, Charles.
Right. So that's
How are you this morning anyway? Good night's sleep?
next stiff.
Next what? Came to see you in the night. Tucked you in.
The neck is gone.
So you guys have woken up. You slept on the tavern floor by the fire.
You wonder why next
bring
stiff.
up the tavern. No wonder your neck's stiff, yeah, and your back and all. I will take you back to Olgri's Hall, which is the place that you guys are at. So, that poor barmaid last night who died. The tavern the tavern goers are still there. It's a very somber mood. Lots of people have stayed overnight. Olgri is just kind of cleaning up the mess on the floor. Grinlow's still outside, the dwarf who's guarding the place. And basically, Yeah, people are just sitting there drinking or just sort of staying there and crying about the barmaid who died. So you guys wake up.
Oh, me bastard neck! Fucking hell!
Fucking one actually is freaking stiff. Just kidding.
Right, morning. Is it? Are we heading off to the outpost today?
Yeah, where are we going today?
After Derek and Steve.
Oh,
heading that
dog.
way as well.
Yeah.
Catch up with them guys.
So you know you've got a boat to catch later this morning. That's on the agenda. That's what Sved said yesterday. You also have that survivor from last night who is in the barrel.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. He's sat under the bar, isn't he?
Mm.
Fabulous.
So, is he in an unconscious state still, or is he slightly awake now?
You don't know because Olgri sealed him up in a barrel. He was very annoyed.
I'll walk over to the barrel and give it a kick.
Yeah, sure. Give me a perception, please. Oh, not bad. 21. 21. Nice one. So you kick the barrel and you hear a whimper inside.
Nice.
And you hear, what's going on? Where am I?
Okay, I'll pop the top of the barrel open and call over Angelus and Giles.
Okay, give me a strength check. And what you're going to use to pop open the barrel, because it's a crowbar type job. It is literally a sealed ring barrel, like it's been hammered down.
I'll
think of it like paint tin plus.
Jab my knife into the side of it, just prise it under.
Yeah, sure, give it a go. Give me a strength check, please.
Yeah. 0. So that's 12.
So yeah, the barrel does not budge. It's sealed tight. It's a big brandy barrel.
Angelus, you've got all the muscle. Come and get this barrel top off.
All right then. Well, I'll take one of my. I'll have to borrow my dagger from Giles.
Yeah, you can have that back.
I'll do the same, and I'll try and pry open the top of the barrel.
Yeah. D20 strats check.
Sure thing. D20. 15 plus my strength. What's my strength? Plus 1. So is that 15 then?
Yeah. So you begin to prise the top of this barrel open, and you notice that big nails are inside. Olgri's clearly nailed this guy in. So you just start to kind of like wedge it up, and there's a little gap, and you kind of see the guy trying to push on the other end, but he's like really weak, and he's been in a barrel all night.
Cool.
And you kind of prise it open, not for him to be able to get out, but just enough that he can sort of pop his head through.
Nice. So, before we even think about letting you out, so who were you working for?
He says, "What do you mean?"
So I'm going to do. I've got that bag full of a pound of cinnamon.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab a handful of that and shove it in his mouth.
Oh God. You guys are very inventive torturers. Incredibly, between Dave's messed up snowman and you and your cinnamon, you've been thinking about it all week, haven't you? Making this guy do the cinnamon challenge. Okay, yeah, I think he's got his mouth open, absolutely gobsmacked, and you pour the cinnamon in, and all of a sudden he's coughing, hacking, wheezing, and suddenly like throwing up everywhere because like he's just breathed so much of it in. It probably takes a couple of minutes to recover from that, and he's still coughing up, and he's like, "What did you? What did you? What?" He's just so confused.
So, ready to give us any info this time round?
He said, I was just tired. I was just tired. All the, you know, the guy, the guy with the flasks, and we just called him the herbalist. He just hired us. I come from a small village in the south. He came with some money. I'm a hunter. He gave me some money. He said, I've got a big job for you, and we came all the way up here. I know nothing more than that.
Can I try and see if he's bluffing?
Yeah, of course. Do you want to do a sense motive for me?
Yeah. Oh, is that sense motive, or is that just bluff?
Sense motive, please, because he would roll an opposing bluff. Actually, I'm going to roll your sense motive for you.
Okay.
What's your sense motive skill?
I don't. Oh, sorry. Yeah, skill modifiers +2 bonus on bluff, perception, sense motive. Yeah, so I get +2.
Yeah, you get a +2.
So
Do you have any skills in that originally?
not under skills, but under my conditional skill modifiers.
Okay, that's fine. So it would just be +2 then.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Excellent.
9.
You're convinced that this guy knows some more.
Okay, so I'll go ready for round 2 and grab another handful and shove it in his mouth again.
Yeah. So he's got like cinnamon all in his face. Like it wasn't very neat this time. He was a bit more ready for you, so he had his mouth jammed shut. But you kind of like smeared it all over his face. He's now got it in his eye. He opened his mouth in agony, sucked up through his nose. It's just a whole sinus attack, and this guy is just coughing it up, vomiting it up, like super dehydrated, and he's just going, a drink. Can someone get me a drink?
So I'm going to get an ale from the bar,
Mm.
and I'm just going to pour it over his head.
Okay, he like puts his face up to wash himself with the ale as he pours down. He's trying to get the cinnamon out his eyes and in his mouth, and he's sort of like hacking out the ale and the cinnamon mix now. And he says, I really don't know much more. Like I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like he just hired us.
I'm pretty sure you know more than what you're telling me. So I'll go ready for round 3 and another handful of cinnamon.
Okay.
This is awful.
Give me a second.
Torture, this is.
Sweating.
What? Do you want me to? I mean, yeah, Kyle.
He like just kind of disappears back into the barrel, and you hear vomiting and crying, and you just hear like a tiny sad voice saying, I'll tell you everything I know. It was a man. It was a man in armor, and he had a beard, and his name was his name was Siegfried.
God.
Siegfried.
Oh, my eyes stinging. Cinnamon in it.
Yeah, got cinnamon, have
You
you?
should re-cinnamon yourself.
Yeah.
He says, just let me go. I've got a family to go back to.
Yeah, he's got no weapons or anything on him. I'll Charles, over to you.
Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, how many times can I use bleeding touch?
Let's have a look. It's on your character sheet, Lee.
Yeah.
So it's the boxes next to it.
Special
So however many there are.
1d6. Boxes.
So uses per day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 5 uses of bleeding touch
Oh,
per day.
I'm looking too low. Oh, yeah, we can use one of them for him.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you just going to reach out and
just going to
touch his
reach out and
face?
touch his face with bleeding touch.
Okay.
They tried to kill us after all.
He looks and sees that there's no cinnamon in your hand, and he kind of like closes his eyes to let it happen. And you put your hand on him, and immediately, like, he starts bleeding out his orifices. Let's do a save for him for half damage. Fails. Yeah, and he just passes out, and blood is just pouring out of his eyes, his ears, his mouth, the wounds previously, and you just hear him sink back into the barrel.
Here's for you next.
Beautiful.
I can see Luke character doing this at all. Oh.
You see in the barrel, like blood is just trickling out the barrel, across the wooden floor, like into the crevices of the holes in the floor.
Excellent.
Cool.
Right, where to?
So, this Siegfried fella,
Everything out of him that we needed to get out of him. I mean, we got vomit, blood, everything else.
is Sved about with us? He's somewhere, is he?
We need to chat with him
So
now.
Sved is not in the bar.
Oh, okay.
Right, what shall we? At what time is it? I'm just thinking, what day are we on? Can we not start making our way to that outpost?
So you're catching a boat to take you to the outpost. So you're not sure. You see Olgri scrubbing the floor. You see patrons, but you don't see Sved in the room with you. So
Is,
yeah,
Sved still in bed?
he's not in the place where he was sleeping. Which again, he slept by the fire like you guys, with just on his bedroll.
Is Olga still beyond the bar?
He's just cleaning up the mess from the fire
Okay.
earlier. So he's just there scrubbing the floor, and he sort of, as you guys look at him, he looks up at you and he just nods.
I'll just go. Have you seen Sved about this morning?
He says he's outside, chaps. By the way, before you guys leave, come see me. Actually, we'll do it now. And he sort of gets up from the floor. He goes behind the bar and he pulls out a little sack and he says, "I promise you guys a reward. And as you avenged my barmaid the other day, yesterday, I thought I might as well give you these." And he opens and he passes you 2 vials, small red vials,
Nice.
and he says, "These are potions that will stitch you up when you need it."
Cracking.
Is this 2 each? Like,
Just two, full stop.
I'm just okay.
Yeah.
So is this advisable? Because Lee can get us up if we're down. Should me and Angelus have 1 each? Because then if Lee goes down, one of us can bring you back up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
handy. You can always get off a body, but yeah, I mean, I haven't got much in terms of
'Cause
being able
if
to
you're
carry
down,
anything.
you're the only one who can heal anybody else.
Yeah. Very best that you keep them. I can always knit them off you if I need to
Yeah,
use one on
because
one of you
it's
anyway.
different.
If I've
So
used it.
that's 1 healing potion, is that? Yeah. Well, 1 each.
Yeah,
Be
1
sorry.
for Dave, 1 for yourself.
I'm kind of hoping to buy some at the outpost.
Where's that?
He opens the sack a bit further and he says, "I've got something else to give you. I'm not entirely sure what it's used for, but I was told by a trader that it had magical properties, given to me as a gift, so no skin off my teeth. If it doesn't do what he said it did. He said it protects the wearer. No idea from what, no idea from how, but I just thought I'd pass it on." And he gets like this big copper chain, and on the bottom there's like a coin or a sort of a disc shape, and inside there's a little gem, and he passes it over. And he says the mark on the back, and he turns it over, and you guys see a pig drawn on it. And he says that's a medallion of a god of celebration and feasting. It's the sign of Brevis.
That's going on Angelus's neck, I think.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah. That's 1 for you, Dave. Angelus. Yeah.
The chain of what? Sorry,
It's chain of Brevis.
Brevis.
Yeah, Brevis is the equivalent god of tits and wine.
Nice.
He's
That smile.
does it? Can anyone do a knowledge religion check?
No.
Anyone got it on their
Religion? I bloody think I should have that, surely.
Dungeon job.
You'll need to level up into that, Lee. I think you put it all in gambling, didn't you?
Wow.
Might be useful for the priest to get knowledge of religion at some point.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You can use it as a trained skill. You've not got any points in it. The thing that governs it is intelligence-ly. So it's okay. Your intelligence is -2. But to use a trained skill, yeah, for you it'd be a -2 roll for now.
What's that? A D20?
D20 -2.
Go on.
I don't think anyone else has knowledge religion or any training in knowledge religion.
No,
17, so.
Oh, pretty good. Yeah. So there's lots of songs and tales about Brevis, and the main chorus is basically what's known as the Song of Brevis, which is an epic story of two farmers sitting watching their goat herd. And they're bored, and they pray to Brevis and ask him for some celebration. And what they send is they send them he sends them 4 sows and 4 women, and they get more progressively drunker and drunker and drunker, and they have crazy mad feasting and make crazy love. And in the morning they realize they've accidentally eaten the women, and the pig are looking very sheepish. So Brevis is the god of celebration, but he's also the god of getting a bit carried away and mischief and other things. But Brevis is a bit of a nuts god, in a good way. His realm has rivers of wine and constant celebration.
Definitely Dave's, Angelus. Definitely
Cool.
yours.
And every winter, instead of like Christmas, like we have, in Norvald, they have the Day of Brevis, where it's just a day of feasting in one of the coldest parts of winter, where everyone gets by the hearth and just pigs out, basically.
It's definitely my god.
Yeah. he's one of the winter gods and one of the more common gods in the region. But the Song of Brevis is a very famous bardic tale and one that's much loved by the people. So that's what you know about Brevis and his domains.
Nice.
Nice.
That is that's super cool. Yeah. Got nothing more to say on the matter apart from like, yeah, let's go. Let's go get drunk and fuck some pigs.
Song of Brevis. So, what's your next plan, guys?
So head outside and
Yes.
find Sved, I suppose. Yeah.
Just as we go, can I just as we walk back, can I toss Olgri 2 copper?
Yeah.
Say, sorry about the mess over there.
He looks at the 2 copper, and he's like, "You think this is gonna cover that?" Like, he like pockets it slowly while maintaining eye contact.
I just walk past, just like stone face, just like, yeah. Cool. So yeah, we walk out the tavern.
Okay, excellent. Can I get a perception of all of you then?
Perception. You can, but I don't remember what it is.
Oh, no way. 28.
Nice.
Your perception is 4.
Wow. Oh, 14 with my perception on
15.
Nice.
top.
So you guys see some tracks in the distance, and they look like small wheeled tracks. They're just sort of heading off to round behind the woodshed.
Okay. Do I see Sved anywhere?
No, but you just see these track marks. They're the only things you see in the otherwise sort of. There was a bit of snow last night. Otherwise, it's undisturbed. There's just these big track marks.
I'll pop round and follow the track marks, I suppose.
Yeah, cool. So behind the shed, you see Grinlow and Sved, and they're putting small barrels into a wheelbarrow, which is a sort of. It's not like a one-wheel wheelbarrow. It's like a 2-wheeled wheelbarrow with a like almost like a plough thing on the back. So it's like a backwards wheelbarrow, if that makes sense. Some sort of clearly repurposed farming tool that they're using to haul these barrels, and Grinlow's sort of at the front, like big burly Grinlow, and he's sort of lifting it. And there's about 5 barrels inside.
Wander over and give him a hand getting the barrels on.
Yeah, excellent. So you help him put the barrels on, and Svet says, "Oh, I thought I'd let you guys lie in a bit."
Nice, thanks. We managed to get a name of somebody who's after us
Excellent. Who?
because we're helping you. His name's Siegfried. Sound familiar?
Siegfried. It's a very common name.
He's lots of armor, big beard.
That's
No.
a very common description.
It is, isn't it? I don't think we got.
He sort of gives you a very quizzical look. He sort of cocks his head a bit, and he says, "Siegfried in armor and a beard.
Yeah.
We probably might see a few of them today."
Yeah, just be wary if you come across a Siegfried. That's all.
Yeah. That's like
Yeah.
saying it's a guy called Dave with a beard. That's how common the name Siegfried is. He says,
Cool.
"Is he son of anybody, or is he just Siegfried?"
Son of a beach.
Secret of I too much cinnamon through and check myself.
He didn't give us any more info than that, did he?
Yeah, he didn't know
Okay.
anything else than that.
He didn't really have a chance, did he either?
Wow. I mean,
I gave him 3 lots of cinnamons worth of chance.
yeah.
True. Lee gave him like no chance.
Well, you know, well, it was going to run off anyway. So if he's alive, he'd be back. If he was dead, he's dead anyway. So.
He asks if it was a clean death.
Uh,
It's slow.
He was spiced.
it can't up.
He looks a bit startled, but I think he knows your guy's style by now. So I think he's less shocked than he normally was. And he says, "I just hope you didn't leave too much of a mess for Olgri to clear up."
Oh no, Dave gave him some cash to help with that.
He nods and he says that's the proper thing to do.
Yeah.
He says Olgri's a good friend of mine, and he's been very generous to us, giving us free food and board. And you know, did he give you his gifts?
Yes.
Indeed, yeah, he did, yeah.
He nods and he says it's right and proper. He says, "So the reason why we've had to wait here for a little bit and catch a boat is because all chieftains are expected to bring something to the moot. And mine, I'm bringing," and he pats on each of the little barrels. He says, "Me, I'm bringing ale and mead." He says, I'm bringing the booze." He says, "Often other people bring food or a mixture of both. One person brought entertainment. The last moot, that was fun. Someone brought jugglers, conjurers, lots of different things. It's normally a very big affair, but this year's probably going to be a bit more modest, considering how hard the winter's been. So alcohol might be the best we're going to get."
Sounds good.
Cool.
He says the shore isn't that far away, and I believe the puffin's here.
I beg your pardon.
He says it's the ship. It's
Okay.
it's the bloody puffin.
Bloody puffin.
Can I just before I'll just turn tail very quickly and nip back into the bar and drop Olgri 6 more copper because I feel bad now.
Okay. He sort of again like sweeps it into the table, maintaining eye contact, and he just kind of nods. He's noticed the blood on the floor, and you notice he started mopping.
Okay, I'm on my way out. Can I drop another 5 copper into a jug?
Yeah. So you pop it in a nearby jug, and he kind of like just slowly nods at you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right, we're getting back on par with him. Okay, that's cool.
He sort of like just sort of says after you like it's an afterthought. The next time you torture someone, could you do it off the cedarwood floors?
No promises.
You got it. I promise not to torture anyone. I can't say anything about the other 2.
He says we had a perfectly good log hut. You know, there's the whole of outside, and you just had to torture him in the corner of my bar.
Note taken for
Well,
next time. We're new at this.
yeah.
Oh, I'm not there, am I? Actually, no. I can't say
No, I'm outside.
I'll say the same thing and say, well, we're kind of new at this. We're getting there. We're really sorry about the mess.
Again, he nods slowly. He sort of
As I follow
sighs,
me inside of
and
it.
he's like, mercenaries, and like continues mopping up. So you guys head out, and Grinlow and Sved are carrying the goods to the shore, and very quickly you begin to see the line of a boat. It is very much well, let's have a look what the boat looks like, shall we?
Oh,
You see,
Beautiful.
as the river widens and it starts to go into the lake that's ahead, you see a traditional Viking warship. However, it's not crewed by that many people. You notice only about, well, I'm just going to have a quick look. You notice it's crewed by only a handful of people. Really, about 10 people are on it, when normally these crews hold about 20. And they're not very heavily armed. A lot of them are actually just in leather jerkins with a knife at their belt. And normally, when you expect like a Viking war troop, you expect the heavy shields, the axes, whatever. These guys seem a bit of a ragamuffin bunch.
so I'll quickly say over to Sved. Go. How come the crew so light?
He says winter. He says this is the Bloody Puffin was the ship that was built only very recently. Otherwise, we'd have no ship to take. They've all gone to sea. They've all gone to raid. He said it was commissioned by Vigo, who is the ward of the largest city in Norvald. You might have heard of it, a place called Svard. He says it's on an island in the north. It's quite close to us, and it's where the old Jarl used to live, and Vigo is his youngest son.
Right. Okay. So, do we get on board? Or?
Yeah. So you see the ship, and it is pulled up. They're sort of dragging it inwards. The crew are sort of pushing it up the shore. And Sved starts to load up his barrels. There is a man dressed in green with a big feather in his hat, and he's wearing a big fancy leather tunic. He's got a sword very similar to Dave's at his belt, like a rapier style thing rather than an axe. And he's wearing a very fine sort of silver big chain round his neck, kind of. You know, it's very bling, the chain. It's like a big, massive one, and he's got some rings on his arm. And he says, "Ahoy, Sved!" And Sved nods at him and gets on and says, "This is my crew." He says, "You can put them to work, and we'll help you row."
Oh, bugger.
Vigo turns to you all and he says, "Oh, I'm grateful for the help." He says, "Welcome to the Bloody Puffin. We'll be at shore for another sort of 30 minutes. If you guys want to do any trading, we've got some merchants on board. Anything that we can help you with before you're underway, great, fantastic. You guys look like you've had it rough, and you guys look at yourself and you notice that you've got really bloody tunics, you've got holes in your shirts, you've got your padded armor's looking all right, but you've still got blood stains on you. While some of you may have cleaned up a bit, there's just like massive stains and patches on everything that you're wearing."
Okay.
Good to know.
So you got any clothing merchants on there? Buy some fresh clothes. Maybe a barrel of water to have a wash.
Yeah. So there's a couple of merchants. Vigo takes you over to the first merchant, who's at the front of the ship, and they've been negotiating. You don't know over what. You can hear them. He's like, "Oh, what about this wine, and what about this, and what about that?" And Vigo says, "Umber, I've got a couple of people to have a chat with you. They may want to purchase some things." And Vigo goes away to chat with sort of the other deckhands. And Umper turns around to you guys and says, "What can I help you with? I've got a broad array of goods that I'm taking to the moot."
Cool.
Nice. Umber, what are you carrying on you? Anything armor wise or?
He says armor. I carry some armor, not a lot of armor to be honest with you. I mostly deal in fine silks, just general equipment. I can probably rustle something up, whatever you want.
Have you got any like general workday clothing?
He nods. He says, I have a few spare outfits. He
How much
says,
are they?
what do you want? A fancy outfit? Do you want some fur for the winter?
Yeah, actually, it sounds. I better get some fur. Actually, yeah, sounds
Yeah.
a good idea.
So you guys currently have some really sort of thick wool jerkins and pants, and you have a little sort of woolen hat and big sort of gloves, which is all really nice. It's quite cheap cold weather outfit. But he sort of takes out some pelts. He measures you guys. He says, "So who wants some fur?"
I want
take some of that, please.
I want some fur. I
Yeah.
want the best.
He says the best, and he grins, and he begins to start taking out his a fine bolt of silk.
For the winter.
He nods. He nods, and you notice that he's already got some kind of outfits already, and he takes out. There's a big fur cloak with like red silk lining.
Okay.
There's other things that look a bit like sort of like frontiersy. There's like a big bear like face in a cloak, and which sort of goes over and buckles onto armor. So he's got a few different types of things.
Excellent. How much is
he
that?
asks what the polar bear outfit.
Yes.
Has he got more than one of those?
He says, I've got a couple of different animals. He says, I have a wolf. He says, I have a polar bear. And he says, I have 3 deer.
Well,
Okay.
as my name's Wolf, I'll take the wolf, please.
I definitely have to a polar bear.
Yeah,
guess
so
I might have a stag.
he begins to measure up, and actually he sort of nods and he says, actually, the things I don't really need to make anything. You guys are all sort of average size. I mean, I've got the stags in a good size. Let's have a quick look. Let me price this up for you. And he
Yeah, how much is that?
starts to have a quick look at the gear.
Rip me off, I'm going to touch your face.
He sort of does the typical like tailor, like, yes, of course, sir. Yes, very good, sir. So for the polar bear outfit, he wants to charge you 12 gold.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So you've already got cold weather outfit weighed on you, Lee. It's the same thing. Like, we'll just,
Swap
it's
it
just a
out.
fancy one that's, like it's like for like, so you don't need to do anything to your character sheet. So you pay him 12 gold, and he gives you that, and he sort of buckles it on you, make sure it's like nice and tight, and he sort of like is like, voila.
Excellent. Dave, I want a drawing of this, by the way.
No, don't worry.
The wolf is a little bit different. So the wolf actually lives on the shoulder of the cold winter outfit that you've got, and it's kind of a flap that tucks up and over your padded armor. So the actual garment is it's like a cloth wool garment that's stitched up almost not like a corset, but it's like an underneath padding that your padded armor just goes on top of like a tabard. It tucks through, and then you've got a big wolf's head down the side of your arm, and on the other side you have its like tail curling round that's been stitched onto it. So that's what that looks like, and you've got sort of its body that comes up as a hood, and it's sort of sewed nicely, and inside you've got like a white sort of silk material. And he says, for the wolf, the wolf is one of the finer merchants that I've worked with. 15 gold.
Nice bargain.
Yeah,
I'll toss him that over.
So he takes that, and he shows you 3 variety of stag Dave. So the first one is basically it's a stag skull with the horns, and then the pelt of the deer comes down and round, and it sort of is like a cloak, but again, it's like the polar bear thing. It buckles at the front and buckles at the side. And what you can do is there's basically a cape part that comes around the front
Okay.
that's black and woolen. So it's deer on the back, black cape on the front, and you can put your head down. And like if you crouch down, you look a bit deer-like, apart from the giant deer stag skull on the top that's been like stripped of all its skin and flayed, but sewn at the back of the head.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
The other type is just like a doe, and it is just very similar to Lee's polar bear again, and very similar to the other, but instead of a skull, it's a doe's head that you put through, and you can peer through the empty eye holes.
Okay. Yeah.
The final one is a bit more similar to Ad's design, where you've got the doe on the side, but this one drapes over, so it's a big baggy deer outfit that you just put a belt round. So think of it like a big deer poncho.
Yeah.
With the deer heads there, and then you've got the belly hood again, and inside it is brown. It's the more sort of coarser material.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with the stag head one.
Yeah.
I think it sounds pretty gnarly.
Yeah. He asks if there's any sort of like preferences you'd prefer in like buckle, because the buckles are like pins on it, and he says I've got these regular buckles or I've got some silver buckles, and he says same goes to you, sir, with the polar bear.
I'm gonna have silver buckle.
Yeah. So he's going to charge you 20 gold for that with the
And
silver
yeah.
buckles.
Is that on top of the 12 gold he's already charged?
He nods, and he said it would be 5 gold if you wanted the silver buckles.
Okay, that's
He
fine.
says they're real silver.
I might
So
just
my-
accidentally touch his fingers and pass this gold over if he's not careful. but yes, another 5 gold. That's fine. I'll pass that over.
He nods, and you guys look very, very, very good. And he's like, excellent, gentlemen. He says a few final touches, and he takes his hand and he dips it into this lard-like substance, and he starts rubbing your outfits to sort of like waterproof it, weatherproof it, and he massages the pelts, and he says this should keep the blood splashes off. He said your last outfits, and he looked at these bloody clothes that are heaped onto the floor. He says they didn't protect you. Well, they did protect you, but they clearly were stained very easily. He says this I'll massage it in and sort you out, and he does that, and you've all got your nice brand spanking new outfits. He says anything else I can help you boys with, as he washes his hands off in the sea, well, in the river. Sorry.
Umber, how often should we apply this stuff? Is it like suede guard or?
He says it's just fat. He says that's all it is. He says like same with your swords, like you just want to apply grease and oil just every now and then.
Is there any other merchants on this boat, and what do they do?
He says there's the merchant Sieg. He says he's a
What
good
does he
chap.
Merchant
He sells little bits and bobs. He sells trinkets. He sells like small chests. He sells daggers. I believe he's taking pelts to the moot.
Is there anyone that
To
has
sell.
any spells on it, or any potions on this boat?
He says, "Oh, why didn't you say? I'm your potions man." And he takes a little chest from underneath, and he says, "Now there's only so many I can sell you, but I've got 5 potions here." And he opens the chest, and he says, "What would you like?" He says, "I have 4 healing potions, and I have 1 special potion, shall we say?"
Okay, can I'd like, if possible, to take 2 healing potions and 1 special potion. Can you give me any information on that special potion?
Yeah, of course. He says the special potion is a so the potion is of the spell shield. So he says when you imbue this potion, it makes you a bit harder to hit.
Okay,
That's good.
spell shield. Perfect.
He says I have another special potion as well, but only to the discerning customer. A customer of a
Sounds
particular caliber. A customer who's bought all the potions in my inventory, and he waggles his eyebrows.
Sounds intriguing.
yeah. Let's add that as well. That's fine. What is this special potion?
Excellent. So he is pricing up the 5 potions to give you. So the 4 potions of Cure Light Wounds and the 1 potion of Shield. So he is just working that out now. So potion.
4 potions, 4 cure light wounds.
He's costing that to see if you can pay for it.
Oh, believe me, I will. I'm a good gambler.
You buying all 4 of the Cure Light Wounds potions here?
Yeah, he's bought them all.
Don't
we'll
you,
give you
you
some
can always
towards them. If
take them
you-
off if you need them.
That's going to say we can always chip in if you need the extra cash.
Should be
He
alright.
says the potion costs. He says they cost 60 gold each
60 gold each. You might have to get a
for the
touch.
potion of Cure Light Wounds.
So should me and Dave chuck 60 in each for 2 of those Cure Light Wounds?
Ooh. Whoa.
Do you want to survive?
What, you asked
Yep.
the shopkeeper?
You might not get
Nah, talk about jealous for a change. So 60 for the cure light wounds.
60 each for each
60
Cure Light
each.
Wounds. So there's 4 Cure Light Wounds and there's the special potion, which he says if you buy the other 4, he'll chuck it in for 50 gold.
How much money do you think you have, dude?
Say
God.
again.
How much money do you think we have?
How
He
much
says
did
you said
got?
you wanted to buy potions. Potions are expensive business.
That's fine. Yes, okay.
Well,
Can
I'll buy at least one of the Cure Light Wounds.
Can I
Yeah.
grab Giles and I just pull him over to one side for a second?
Oh, this is
Can
going
you
to be
lend me some
interesting.
money?
Giles, can you do some sort of like mind? Like, these are not the coins you are looking for, kind of thing.
It's a very risky. I'm not at that stage yet where I can really control people like this. Especially considering the potions he's got, I wouldn't recommend it. He's probably got other potions that might cause us more damage. So I think we should we need these potions, and I think it's good to take the others. So if we split the cost.
I'll drop him the 60 anyway and take the 1.
All right, then.
Cool.
Fine. I'll take another one.
Okay, you've lost 120 gold as a group, and you've got 2 of the 5 potions.
Cool.
Shit, I need to take 60 gold out.
Right, so I'm doing it. So take away. So I'm paying 170
Yes.
gold. That is fine. I can do that. So 170 gold.
Cool. So you take the other 2 Cure Light Wounds potions, and you take the potion of Shield. He takes a vial out of his pocket, and he says, "This is my final potion. And for you, gentlemen, you're good customers. I'll give it to you for 30 gold. This is a potion of Enlarged Person." And he gives you another waggly eyebrow. He says,
I'm listening.
When we say enlarge, how enlarged?
He says, "Have you ever dreamed of lifting trees? Have you ever dreamed of rampaging through the countryside as a giant yourself?
Dave, that sounds like you. That does.
Have you ever wanted to impress the woman of your dreams?" And he wiggles his eyes. He says, "This makes everything bigger and better."
If you just take a drop of it and rub it, that's
He says, "You take the whole thing, and it'll be an excellent
Night.
period of time."
Can I ask
how long a period of time would that be?
Yeah.
Probably one turn.
He says to Enlarged Person, he said 1 minute. He says the best minute of your life. Which for you guys, 10 rounds of combat.
Okay, that's not bad.
Okay.
So he says 1 minute. He says 1 minute is the difference between life and death. 1 minute is the difference between beating the goblin horde and dying in the gutter.
So for for that minute, do your stats match the size?
He has been heavily implying that you will be able to do great feats of strength.
Nice.
Nice.
How
Okay.
much is that?
He says, for you guys, 30 gold, and this is a bargain.
How is that
Can I
cheaper?
take that? I'll take that. I'll take it.
Oh no.
Do you want it, Dave?
No,
If
no,
you
you.
want it,
Either
Yeah,
way, it is going to save our asses at some point. I can feel it already.
so,
This is
I'll pass him. I'll pass him the 30 gold then. Yeah.
This is definitely foreshadowing.
Yeah. He is super pleased with you all. He's like, excellent. I don't have to sell any more of these potions. Thank you, gentlemen. And he rattles his gold pouch happily, ties it up, and he puts it in his pocket with a big grin.
What was that potion called?
It's a potion of enlarged person.
Right, so I've taken the. Did you guys keep to this cure light wounds on you? Didn't you? Dave, you've got one. Ad, you've got one of them, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
2 now.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
He
So-
says, any more gold can I take off you, gentlemen?
No, but keep watching yourself, otherwise you may find yourself bleeding.
Do you have, actually, while you're there, did you know if anyone's got any special kinds of arrow? Or...
He says, oh, I'm afraid I'd have to point you to Merchant Sieg, I'm afraid.
Okay.
He's the weapons dealer among us.
Can you show me who Sieg is?
He points to the back of the boat, and there is a very small man dressed in a green robe with a hood, and he's sort of like shivering, and he's got some chains in his hands that he's playing with, and he's got some chests at his feet that are linked to the chain. He says that poor fellow is Sieg. I don't think he's used to Norvald.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Well.
I'll walk over to him and ask him what he's got to sell.
He jumps and he goes, yes. How can I help you?
Oh, any special arrows, Sieg, daggers?
He says, arrows, daggers, yes, I have lots of things. Give me a minute. And he knocks a chest over, and you see like out spills like 30 daggers. Like really thin blades.
I'll give him a hand picking them up back into the thing.
So you hear immediately as like you're giving him a hand, he's counting. He's going 1, 2.
Can I stealthily try and pocket one of his daggers?
Yeah, go on. Give me a sleight of hand.
This could go so bad. How long is this boat trip? Oh no.
Might be a quick. Oh god. What did you get?
I haven't got a sleight of hand. Would that just be stealth or something?
So your sleight of okay. So if you've rolled a d20, can you minus it by 4, please?
Okay. So that's -3.
Oh.
-3. Okay, so he sees you pocket the dagger and he goes, "Give that back."
I think you
I
should.
was gonna,
Yeah, you've given the money.
I was looking to buy it. That's what I was just interested.
He
Just
said-
checking it out, see what it looks like. Does it do anything?
He says, "It's dagger, fine dagger." He says, "1 gold."
1 gold. Does it have any special attributes or anything, or it's just a plain old dagger?
He says, "Stab, slash, throw."
Stab slash throw. Love it. I'll take it for 1 gold, purely for the fact I tried to nick it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
He takes it and he pockets the gold, and he says, "Arrows, you say?" And he puts the chests back together, and he switches to a screen where different types of arrows are on it. He sort of like strokes his bald face and runs his hand through his smooth head, and he says, "I've got regular arrows, and I met a hunter, and he gave me these very special arrows." and he says each one is 20 gold.
What does it do for this 20 gold? That's a lot of money.
He hands it to you and he says, look at the tip.
Okay, so I'll inspect the tip.
So this is a really unusual arrow. So it's got a really sort of long shaft on it, and the fletching is really spaced out quite wide. But the tip of the arrow is not a regular pointed tip. It's a bag that covers a good part of the head of the arrow. And as you touch the tip of the arrow, it's really sticky.
Oh.
I'm not making this up. This is kind of the description of this arrow.
So it's an arrow with a tip, shaft, and a bag.
I've just hit clip that.
He says that this is a tangle shot arrow, and the arrow doesn't deal damage when it hits. However, the target, they're splashed with this adhesive, which is like a clump of goo covered in this bag.
You
And
sure
he
this
says,
is real?
when it hits, he says when it hits the target, it sticks the person in place depending on where it hits them.
That's strong.
And that's how much? 20 gold?
20 gold.
Oh, are you sure you can't give us a discount of some sort? That's a lot of money.
He says 20 gold is fair.
I'll pass on that. How about you, Angelus?
Can I use oh, where is it now? Oh, where's it gone? I lost it. Don't I have like a way of convincing him to do it? Where is it? Intimidate, that's the word I'm after.
Yeah, you can try and use a face skill, so either intimidate him for a discount or yeah, definitely.
I'll go for it. I'll try and intimidate him for a discount.
Yeah, can you roll the d20 for me?
For a sticky shaft.
Mm.
I roll a 10.
Okay, your intimidate score?
My intimidate score is 5, so that's 15.
He goes, fuck off. He says 20 gold.
I like you, Seeger. I like you.
Yeah, I like you see too. Yeah, you have earned our respect. Giles, not Giles, Ulf. You fancy going half on this arrow?
Yeah, why not? Go on then.
Okay.
You can keep it in your inventory, and I'll give you the 10 gold. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a tangle shot arrow. And basically we'll go through the rules when you fire it.
Cool.
Just make a note on your inventory that you've got it. Its weight is negligible. So whilst the tip of the arrow is about the size of this Coke can, it's a really big arrowhead that's just this bag filled with this glue. It's really light. It's clearly got some sort of alchemically brewed substance in it. And he nods and he takes your money and he passes you one. And as he passes you one, you notice he's got like 4 more in his bag.
And why don't you try and nick them, Angelus?
Oh, my sneak is quite good.
Give it a go.
Stealthy then.
Yeah.
How about? How long is this trip? Does this trip go overnight?
3 hours normally.
How long? Sorry.
It's this trip by boat, 3 hours. So it's normally a day to walk it. It's 3 hours by boat.
So have we actually set sail yet, or are we still docked?
You're still docked at the moment. You've still got probably about half the time has gone.
So I'm guessing it's around about what, 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to be able to sneak around at night then to steal some extra with these arrows.
Just try it now. If he catches you, he catches you. I mean, I'm next to you, so you know, if needs be. We might have to drop him overboard, like, and hide him, but you know.
I mean, Jesus. I mean, mm, can I ask him a question?
Yeah, of course you can.
What, do you want to live?
Now, my question is, are you going to the hall with everyone else?
He nods. He says, why else would I be on here?
I'm just curious. Maybe you're just here to sell people things on the boat. So you're definitely going to leave the ship and go to the hall.
He nods and he says, I was invited by Carl Carlson himself.
Well, that's just wonderful for you, isn't it?
I will,
nods,
I will
not
buy you a
getting your
drink.
sarcasm.
I will buy you
I-
a drink when we get there. Or two.
Excellent. Myself and Giles will buy you a pint when we are in the hall.
He sort of like just nods at you.
Cool.
And he says, is there anything else for you gentlemen?
Um,
He has a very selective stutter.
Go, Granville.
for real, yes. Yeah. What? So he sells arrows and daggers.
So these daggers, yeah. Did you have any daggers that are more than just stab, throw, slice? Anything
He
that do a bit
shakes
more
his
than
head.
that?
He
Nothing but
says,
stabbing.
he says, you'll be after a master myth.
Is there a master smith on this boat?
He shakes his head.
No.
He says, big cities. He says,
Cool.
no, not tiny boats.
I'll just tap him on the shoulder and go, that's it for me. Thanks very much, though.
He nods.
Yeah. I put the arrow
Mhm.
into my quiver and I go, I'll see you in the hall for
Yeah.
that pint.
Hmm. He nods.
Cool. And as I'm walking away, can I go for a perception check on where he's keeping his money and where he's keeping the arrows and things on the boat?
Cool. Yeah, sure. Give me a perception check then, please, Dave.
No problem. That is a wonderful 18.
He's not particularly hiding it. He's got this chain. He's got the chain threaded through all of his chests. He opens the chest. He puts some gold in. He puts the gold in a bag. He puts it in one of the chests with the goods in. He's got 3 or 4 chests. He seals it. He puts a lock on it, and then he weaves his chain back through all of them, and then he wraps it round his arm.
Okay.
So he's clearly very, very astute about his sealing it away.
Would you say, how thick is this chain that we're dealing with?
The chain is probably sort of 2 fingers of worth of chain. The links aren't actually that massive, but it's quite a wide chain.
Cool. My question is, as I turn to Ulf, I'm looking at him. We walked away by this point, I'd like to say. But I'm still looking. Would you say an axe would break that?
Of course, you probably blunt the axe before you break the chain.
Would you say the boxes are easily breakable?
Oh, I don't know about the. Yeah, you probably break the box before the chain, but it might make a bit of a noise when you're breaking it.
Are they?
They're wooden boxes, but metal riveted.
Okay.
So you see like
right.
thick rivets through each corner, but the boxes themselves are wooden. But you see like tiny little steel strips on them.
So he has a key to.
Yeah, he well, you've not seen a key because he's put a lock through it. I suppose
Yeah.
you would have when he initially
he's-
opened it. Yeah, he has a chain of keys around his neck, like a smaller chain. He's a chain of keys around his
Mhm.
neck, and then just a chain that goes through all the chests that he ties to his wrist. The other
Can you
guy,
make anyone
like,
sleep, Giles?
Sorry.
Giles, can you make anyone sleep?
No, I don't think I can. Let me just see what I can do, just in case there's some further mess.
Oh, I've got a beautiful plan.
So
by the way, from what you remember, Umber's chests are very out in the open. They're sort of tucked away underneath, but whilst there's like a lock in them, which is an inbuilt lock sprung by a key, he's got 2 heavily armed guards either side of him who are the most armed people on the ship.
Okay, it's probably not worth it.
mm,
So two
Oh,
different types of security for each merchant.
Oh, ye of little faith. Can I
I'm just if we get rumbled, there's like everyone else's security on the boat as well, as him to deal with.
There
Well-
are 10 people. There are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Sorry, 13 people on the boat other than you.
Yeah. Bloody
I'm
hell,
just thinking
okay.
we don't want to make Sved look bad doing before he's even got there.
That is. Oh no! Before he's got there, no, we are golden boys. We are top guys.
That's what I
Don't
mean.
say
If we
booty
screw
abuse.
things up a bit on this boat, we might be in a bit of trouble when we get there.
That is true. If we screw it up on the boat before we get there,
I mean, is it going to be like the Mary Rose, apart from just us four us sailing into the dock?
well, what,
That's a lot of
what I'm
rowing.
thinking, see,
I
what I'm the
can't
actual
make him
objective
sleep.
here. Sorry, what?
Can't make him sleep. I ain't got anything that's gonna help with that, I'm afraid.
No.
I think the
Well,
best
that's
you can do is stealth it. You've got a high stealth. You might be able to nick it out of there if you roll a stealth. It's just if you get caught, why don't you do it when we get to the other side so we can run away?
That's what I'm planning on doing. I'm not going to do anything whilst we're on the boat. I mean, we got Sved to think about naturally. So, what I'm curious about is, can I walk back over to Umbra and ask him a question?
So Umber's now talking to Vigo, but you're more than welcome to walk up to him.
All right then. I will nip over there and just ask him a very brief question. Just out of curiosity.
He turns around and he says, "Yes, I'm busy at the moment. What can I help you with?"
I'm really sorry, but can I pick your brains? I just need to ask you a question about have you got any more potions on you at all? Any leaves, any kind of ailments that help a weary soul? Something that we
He says nothing to sell.
shit. Have you got he's got nothing.
He says he's got nothing to sell. That's his exact wording.
Excellent. Can he point me to is a herbalist or other potions on the ship?
He says there's 2 people who don't do any. Oh, he says there's 3 people on the ship who don't do anything but row or fight. He says one's me, one's Sieg, and the other, he nods to Vigo.
Vigo. Wait, it was Vigo the guy we bought all the potions off?
He's the
No,
fancy
so
boat
Vigo is the owner of this ship, who is the youngest son of Carl Carlson. So he's nobility. Essentially, he's pretty important.
So
Okay.
yeah, if we mess things up on this ship, he's just like in earshot.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I'm not. Like I say, I'm not planning on breaking and doing anything wrong on the ship. I'm just curious if anyone's got any sleeping potions, if anyone's got any like delirium potions, anything that we can use on a good our best friend Sieg when we get to the other side. That we can
Well, Lee can control his mind.
Well, you say
You can
that.
command him to do something.
I can command undead. He's not dead.
Oh, can you not do it to
You've
thought-
got a basic, I believe it's a simple command spell, where you can tell people what to do for a round. Where we go?
Ooh, providing I rolled it right.
Yeah, that is the issue.
Okay.
It is command. So one living creature, you give the subject a single command, which it obeys to the best of its ability at the earliest opportunity. It lasts 1 round. If they roll higher than a 13, they don't do anything.
Mm.
It doesn't.
If
The
he
spell doesn't have
does
effect.
it and it fails, are they aware that he's done it?
Right, some of these spells are quite obvious. The reason is because some of them have what's known as visual somatic material components. So visual component means that Lee needs to do in order to cast the spell. Somatic means he needs to say something. So it might be, you know, the visual might be that he takes his amulet and or his holy symbol and he points it at someone. The somatic component will be next
Die,
strike this
motherfucker,
person
die.
down, or die motherfucker, or whatever. So that's that. So this just has a verbal component to it. So Lee will need to say something, which will be the command that he wants him to do. But it will be when someone is trying to channel divine power or cast a spell. It is generally quite obvious.
Out of interest,
Hmm.
if I was to command someone to kill themselves, would that work?
Right, there is an extent to this spell, and this spell is something that's. Give me a second. Let's have a click on it. So it's basic commands, and however, if the subject, if you try and kill the subject, the subject to just like drop to the floor, like and play dead. Or it can drop what it's holding, or it can fall off, or it can flee, or it can halt, or it can run away or approach.
What about jump off a cliff? Or off a boat?
Yeah, you could have it to jump off something. Yeah, like you did with the Thorn, the mud giant. You're able to get it to jump off the boat.
Okay.
But again, it's only 1 round.
Doesn't matter if it's in
and
the
it's
water.
quite an obvious thing because you would point and you'd be like, jump motherfucker, and then like he'd start walking to the edge, or he'd feel like the compulsion wash over to him and fight it and be like, what the fuck did you do?
Okay, well,
But like ordering someone to kill themselves is very extreme. Like they wouldn't just do it. It wouldn't be part of someone's like brain repertoire. It has to be something that's mild, if that makes sense.
Okay. Keep that in mind.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent now, but I'm just curious to see what kind of things we've got available to us.
That's fine.
So, if that's the case, can we? Okay. So now I know that people on the boat don't have any sleeping potions or anything of general interest to me.
Not that you know of.
Not that I know of. That means there is. So.
His exact wording was nothing I can sell.
Okay.
And what can he give us then?
Yeah. What can he?
Nothing he can sell. Okay.
Well, they're all taking tributes there, aren't they? He's got like 3 chests that you have no idea what's inside. Like it could be gold, it could be booze, it could be, it could be male's underwear. Like it could be literally anything. You have no idea what's in these chests, but they have to take some form of tribute, and merchants tend to take quite a few things. So other people have taken circus folk.
Just casually say to him, "Oh, our Sved's tributing alcohol and ale and stuff. What are you tributing?"
He says a number of things, a number of fine goods.
Well, what you call fine now? I mean, you don't want to embarrass yourself, do you? When you get there?
He sort of goes up haughtily and he says, Umber does not embarrass himself. I'm a great merchant. I'm the greatest merchant known out of Svard.
Never heard of you, mate.
Never heard of you, mate.
He
What?
says, "Well, you have now. You've bought my fine coats."
I thought I was going to say cake then.
It's fine. This is.
Oh dear. Right. I mean, this coat's lovely, but we need to get to this outpost. I don't know to see who else is there. Is this boat moving yet?
So you guys just need to wait 10 more minutes, and then everyone gets on, and you guys are up and moving. So let's. I made the map anyway. Let's go to the old boat.
No.
There we go.
Nice.
So that is the boat. You guys get into your rowing positions. Dave and Lee, you two both notice that you're in between the merchant Sieg. Ulf, you're in front, and you are surrounded by deckhands. There is a guy behind you who is heavily armored, who is banging on his shield to get you guys to row, and he is basically a brick shit house. He is a massive bloke with big muscles. He's probably one of the few warriors, apart from the bloke on the front who's sticking next to Vigo and the two people with bows. He's probably one of the few true warriors on this ship, and he looks like a beast.
Alright, we'll stay away from him for a while.
Yeah, he is directly behind you, screaming down your ear, "Row! Row! Row!"
Cool. I
Okay,
guess
so we're better row, aren't we?
Best you get your best row. Do you guys just continue rowing, following instructions, etc.?
Well,
Yeah.
due to the overwhelming fear I have from this dude that's behind me, yeah.
He is super enthusiastic. Think of Tormund's Giantsbane, the actor out of Game of Thrones. Think of him as a little bit older, a little bit taller and wider, with just a big axe and a shield, and he's just screaming, "Row, row, row!"
I'll be like, rowing.
Yeah, you guys get breaks as sort of the different people alternate. The group at the front with Sved, they take over rowing for a little while. They just kind of change, but you're always to this rhythm of this guy just madly tapping on his shield with his axe, and everyone can hear it. The merchant number stays up front, talking with Vigo, and you see an armored man at the front who you've not really spoken to yet. You don't really know him. Whilst the Oarmaster has introduced himself as the Oarmaster, he didn't give his name. He's just like, "Hi, I'm the Oarmaster." The guy at the back. The guy at the front did not introduce himself. You pretty much know everyone's name. They've all got plain names like Siegfried, Sieg, those sort of, there's a Ragnar in there somewhere, there's an Ivar somewhere else, all these really sort of common Viking names. But the guy on the front has not introduced himself, and he sticks to Vigo all the time. A couple of hours go by, and you feel some bumps at the bottom of the boat, and it starts thrashing around, and the Oarmaster goes, "Slow! Halt!" And he begins to steer over the side. What do you guys do?
I peer over the side of the boat and listen and look, see if I can see anything.
Cool.
Yeah,
Give me perceptions, guys, if you're looking over the side of the boat.
Hang on, Dave, why is this going off? How do you feel about having a look somewhere else? I think people might be distracted at this point.
Oh yeah, that's a question. Yeah, how distracted is?
Don't forget he's chained to the boxes with his two guards.
You want to know how distracted Sieg is?
Yeah, who's the which one's this one?
That's Sieg. That's the merchant Sieg. So Sieg
that
is
what-
standing up on his bench, and he's still got the chain on his hand, and he's sort of on tiptoes, looking kind of over. I would say probably the Oarmaster's looking this way, so Sieg is probably looking over that way too.
Okay.
And everyone's like trying to look out of their respective sort of places into the water. because they've noticed the Allmaster looking. I think the people at front haven't quite caught up yet, but they've started no longer rowing, and it's just sort of gently bumping along, and you just hear like a sort of
So I rolled
on
a
the
19.
bottom of the boat, like constantly.
Okay.
So yeah, I rolled a 19.
I rolled
Cool.
17.
Nice.
Sorry, hang on, fucking out. I roll 13.
Yeah, so Ad and Lee, you both notice these things bumping at the bottom of the ship, and there's lots of them in the massive floods. They're sort of a pinkish colour, a small fish but with a big tail, and you just hear them kind of like slapping against the boat. And the Allmaster shouts, "Salmon!"
Mhm.
Right.
And everyone's like, "Oh wow!" Like, didn't realise we were that part of the year yet. And a helpful guy in front of you, Ad, a gentleman called Yarrow, he turns round and he says, "Oh, did you guys know about this?"
No, have you got nets to try and get some of these?
No, he says these salmon aren't for hunting. He says in the autumn the salmon do something called the salmon leap, where they swim upriver and they jump in order to get back to the lakes and ponds where they started. We're getting into spring, and what happens is as the waters begin to warm, those younglings come back. And he says, and this is a very sort of special type of salmon run. He says
Wow.
it's happened very early, but yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
So why have we stopped for it?
He says it's one of life's little pleasures.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Okay. I get the feeling. I have a feeling, guys, that if we try and take any of the salmon out of the water, or if we splash blood into the water, something bad's gonna happen.
Well, at the moment we're just watching these fish, aren't we?
You're going to be eaten by tiny juvenile salmon.
I mean, I see this as an opportunity. I mean, everyone's distracted by a salmon; they're all watching it. So, I mean, potentially we could take something off the boat, or stealth it, put it in your bag, and jealous. Or we can just watch and wait until we get to shore.
I personally like your idea, but I also think my idea is better. Where I think it's safer when there's practically nobody on the boat. And we can move under the cover of darkness when everyone's getting hammered in a mead house.
Alright, let's stick with that. I keep seeing opportunities and thinking, ooh, opportunity. But
I'm not saying that you can conjure a little load of spiders to but
I could, but let's wait. We'll use that.
Have you sort of climbed around to them, Dave, to have this conversation? Because you wouldn't normally, because Sieg is like sitting right in between you.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I as this is going on, I kind of nip over and sit next to
And whisper.
Lee and whisper it into his ear about this, and we're having a very private, awkward conversation.
Yeah. So if you guys don't do anything, it's probably about 5 minutes passes by, and these fish, there starts to be less and less of them. The Allmaster turns around and screams, "All right, you bastards, row!" And then he's like slapping it again, even harder to pick up the pace. And he points at you, Dave, and he goes, "Sit back down, row!"
I'm so sorry. I'm going back.
And he's, again trying to get you to row for the thing. It's not long, and another sort of half an hour goes by, and you're probably just on the last stretch of the journey, and all of a sudden, the Allmaster calls halt, and the boat begins to slow down. Can I get a perception off everyone?
Yeah. 7.
9.
18.
You can.
Oh, 18
Sorry,
plus
was that 9, Ad? Yeah.
18 plus my perception, 22.
I got
Yeah.
sea water in my eye, I think.
So Ad is looking over the side of the boat, probably trying to look at the salmon that are a little bumping by. But Lee and Dave, you both see something where the river narrows. It's a hut, but it's really tall, and it's in the middle of the water, and it's too big to let the boat by in the narrow part of the water. And strangely enough, it's on legs, and you see the hut bobbing from side to side, and you see the legs that it's on are massive, like chicken legs.
What? No,
What? Like a shack, like a hut.
Yeah, like a shack, like a shack the size of like your bedroom or living room. Like it's a small shack, but it's on big legs and it's sort of dancing, and it's got a big tattered straw roof, and it's sort of like it's a very sort of pale wood on the shack, and it's just sort of like dancing back and forward. And as the boat approaches, the old master screams "Halt!" and everyone looks at it in awe and fear. And you hear from the shack, "Ah!"
Cool.
What the?
I look over at Ulf and go, "What the fuck is that?"
Anyone got anything
What?
like knowledge nature,
oh,
knowledge
oh.
engineering?
Yes. Both.
Yeah.
Imagine
Can I get the highest one from you? Any other knowledges from anyone else? None of you guys have any other knowledge skills, do you?
don't have any
No.
knowledge.
19.
19.
No.
Okay. So you don't really recognize this thing. This is not within nature that you've heard of. You have no fucking clue. Like you're racking your brain and you're thinking of this, that, and the other, and you hear the All Master say something, and he goes, "A winter's witch," and that starts to ring a bell in your head. And you remember that the winter's witches are witches that come down during the winter, much like the giants. They come down from a region called Begonia's Crown, and they march when the ice freezes. They can march past the ice fields across the sea, and they settle on the north half of Norvald. And then when winter recedes, when spring starts, they all head back up. And winter witches they're kind of like myths, legends. They've got loads of tales about them. Some are beautiful women, some are crones. They're known to cut out the hearts of young men and eat them to fuel their magic. They're like everything about voodoo you hear. They're everything about sort of like nightmare. Think Blair Witch Project, Witch in the Woods, and that's these kind of creatures. And the oarsman has mentioned that seeing this building.
Okay. Do you come across these often? Do you know how to deal with them?
What, you turn around to the Oar Master and say
The
that?
Old Master. Yeah, yeah.
He says these huts are an unusual sight. He says the winter witches reside in them, in the dancing huts, and those who approach, they die. They cut out the hearts of men, they eat their souls, they summon demons, and we cannot pass. Not while it is here.
Okay.
How do we get around?
He says, I shall speak to Vigo. And he walks up the ship, and he sort of pushes his way by and has a chat with Vigo at the front of the ship, and the merchant number steps out of the way, and you hear them quietly talking. Sved goes up to the top of the ship as well, and all sort of the important bods are having a chat. And you hear Sved turn, and he goes, "Gentlemen, I have a task for you."
Here we go
Oh
again.
no.
Oh, what is it now, Fred?
He says, "I've been discussing with Vigo and some of the more pertinent members of this crew," and he sort of throws the Old Master a bit of a dirty look. And he says, "You guys are tested and proven warriors, and looking at that hut, we need it out of the way. I wouldn't advise that you fight a winter witch, but perhaps she can be bargained with, reasoned with. We have goods on board. We suggest that you go and try and parley with her in order to get her to move her hut. She should be receding back anyway, so perhaps maybe she needs food or something in order to help her on her way. And we're willing to be very generous in order to get by.
Giles, what's your
in that
bluffing diplomacy like?
My diplomacy is 5.
So
Mine's
either
1.
you, so Angela's better do the talking because I'm
Ye-
-2. for both.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll do the talking. Yours is -2.
Mhm.
Wow. What? Wow. Okay. What's yours?
1.
Yeah, I'll do the talking. Okay. Can we, if that's the case, then if she might be reason to bargain with, can we take an assortment of things with us?
They sort of bemused and puzzled, and the All Master goes, "A Winter's Witch knows what she wants when she presents herself." He says, "You can always
Well-
come back to the boat."
Oh, okay. Well,
So
okay.
how do we make our way over to this witch?
He sort of calls, and they begin to row to shore. So it's not that far. It's only about sort of 10 foot wide, the water now. They scrape to the side and gently ease off. And all the men are like holding their religious symbols, and some of them have hold of their weapons, their daggers at their belt. Most people look absolutely bloody terrified. And the All Master doesn't help because he's launching into stories of when I was a lad, they cut out the heart of a boy.
Okay. So
Okay.
we're on shore now.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
guys are on shore, and the place begins to open up as a forest, and you guys see ahead of you along the shoreline. It's, as I said, it's really narrow, this coastline, and quite rocky. But the bit where there's shallows, there's this hut dance, and it's like literally jerking back and forwards. It's not like doing a tango, but it's literally hopping from one foot to the other, doing this and wobbling with his chicken legs. And the closer you get, if you guys do get closer, it starts again making that noise. That.
Cool. Be
Not
like, right.
scary.
Giles, I think we better move this along, don't we?
What's nice wood? Yeah, let's move in. Let's move in.
What?
I assume you're meaning this picture.
I did.
Right, my car doesn't go down that low. But,
Come on then, let's move.
Okay.
let's move down the
Do
line.
you approach the hut the full way?
What? Sorry?
The hut, the dancing hut. Do you guys close on it? What do you do? Do you get in close proximity? Do you have a formation? Do you sneak up on it? Do you guys
No,
want to dance to it? What do you want to do?
We're gonna. I mean, if it's all right with you guys, I think we should kind of just walk up friendly and knock, make ourselves known. We're not wanting to scare
If you want
this.
to bargain with her, there's no
Yeah.
point sneaking because
Yeah.
then she'll know we're up to something.
Shall I take point and then Giles second and then Ulf
From the rear.
third?
Yeah.
So the three of you march in a casual line.
With one step in, one step
Casually,
out.
yeah. It's like the sand people covering their tracks in Star Wars, isn't it? Just the line of three people just
Following
bolt
step.
on like the conga or something like that. So you guys walk up and you notice that the hut begins to dance a little less, and it sort of crouches down, and where it almost looks like a big face with a hat, although there's no like definable features or windows, but there's a door where kind of like its face should be, and it's painted red, and it sort of dips down, and you see the door sort of like just it flutters, and then you see words begin to transcribe on the door.
So that's not creepy.
Can anyone read it?
Let's have a look at the languages you speak.
I can speak.
Elven. Well, I know I've got Elven and yeah, that's it. Elven and General.
Common
I
Elven
can
and
speak
Giant.
Yeah.
Common, Dwarven, and Elven.
Yeah. Oh, my TV's going weird. Can you
Time.
guys hear me?
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
layer.
they'll see you.
You just need a new monitor.
I probably do. It's all going really weird.
I
I hope it's not a graphics card problem.
highly unlikely for you going to be a TV.
Yeah. I've got a lot of overlapping images now up and down on the screen.
Turn your TV off, Paris.
Yeah, I'll quickly turn it off. Turn it on again. Let's have a look. He says hoping it's the TV.
Yeah, should be. It might be alright. Let's turn it off and on. But it is the TV anyway. To be fair, graphics corruption like that, I think you'd get a blue screen.
Yeah, probably. That picture looks a little bit better, but still it's not great. Oh, maybe the TV is failing.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Old TV.
I mean, obviously you can test it by plugging your PC into your other TV and making sure. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it sounds like you're getting a new monitor.
Not at the moment, can't really afford it. But anyway, right, let's continue. Oh, my image is freezing on the screen whenever I move. Very odd, very unusual. Anyway, where were we? Let's have a look at the languages you guys speak then. I cannot read the character sheet.
Paris.
What languages did you guys speak?
One sec, Paris. Are you connected by HDMI?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have another HDMI port on the back?
Yeah, give me a second.
Let's just try and sort your TV out a little bit, because it's not going to be good if our dungeon master can't read this. Yes, I can speak that language, Paris. Yes, I can.
Yeah, we can do everything. It's all good.
Look at him with his new chair. You know he loves it.
It's fancy chair, yeah.
I know a safe way of checking. I've got a VGA programmed into this, plugged into this as well. So I'm going to switch on my work laptop and have a look if it shares the screen. If I switch the screen. Sorry about this, guys. Technical issues.
That's alright. All this is going to prove that if it does work is that your VGA works and your HDMI is screwed. Or your PC is screwed.
Could be. I'm hoping it's the screen. I'm like really hoping it's the screen. I mean, the TV's super old and it's an LCD. I don't know what sort of lifespan they have, but we'll have a look. Right, I'm just going to switch the screen.
At least it didn't do it while we were playing GTA, hey?
Well, that's true. That's very true. Oh, that's definitely the TV.
Hey.
It's got like screen burn in it.
What? Just
Yeah,
What?
it's like that's the screen. For switching to VGA, it's totally the TV.
Well, that's good news. It is good news.
It's kind of good news. I have to try and not really move anything and stay on the same screen. So screw the fancy graphics today. It's because I changed picture too many times, isn't it?
No, it's just because you've not changed your TV.
Shite telly.
Yeah, you know what it is. It's because you're a cheapskate. It's not bought a
History's
monitor.
oldest telly.
Well, you could always swap to your monitor. You could swap to your laptop, Paris.
I could swap to my laptop.
Yeah, swap to your laptop. We'll wait a second.
Oh god, my laptop was screwed. I've got Donna's laptop.
Go on, steal it.
I've just got to turn off my work laptop. God, it takes ages to load.
Hold down the power button.
Yeah, I have done. Give me a second. I'll just ask Donna about
You've got 3 engineers here. We'll all tell you the same thing. Hold down the power button. Pull
Hold
the
down
battery.
The power button, turn it on and off again. Give me a second. I'll switch to Donna's laptop.
Oh dear. It looks like it's finally going to get a monitor. We've all got... Okay. Where's off the headset? We've all got to send him a monitor on WhatsApp each, not in the game chat, just separately if you can.
Yeah.
Saying that, I don't have any of your guys' character sheets on Donna's laptop, so it might just be best to continue using this, even if I can't see the screen,
Alright, no problem.
because it's the same difference. I'll just turn this off, holding down the power button. Right, so the hut then. It begins to have these words shifting on it. So does anyone speak Gnomish?
No.
Anyone speak Giant?
Yes.
Excellent.
I do.
So Ad, you are one of the people who can read this, and you see about 3 different languages. The other 2 you're not very familiar with, but 3 languages pop up, and one of them is one you can read, and you could tell it's in Giantish, and it says, I'm out at the moment, be back later, gone collecting herbs.
Okay. So I tell that to Giles and Angelus.
Excellent.
Witch is out. She's collecting some herbs.
Yeah. You notice it flicks, and it says, be gone in 3 days, be back in 3 days.
Oh, she'll be back in 3 days.
Okay. Well, we can't move the hut for her. Or can we?
Does the hut have any intelligence?
You're not. You just don't know, unless you want to start shouting questions at it.
I think we should go back to the boat and communicate this to Sved.
Or can I just before we go, just out of curiosity, I'll just knock on the door.
Yeah. So you knock on the door, and the door just rattles back at you, and that screaming noise happens again.
Oh my god.
Is there any windows?
Nope, not one.
Can we try a door? See if it's open.
What? Try and force it? Do you want to give me a strength test?
No, I
Check if you
don't want to force it. I just want to see if it'll
Okay.
open.
Does that mean
No.
she's got somebody in there then? If there's a screaming noise.
There's no door handle, so the screaming is a really visceral screaming, and it sounds like it's coming from every part of the hut.
Okay.
Like you feel the legs screaming, the floorboards underneath you, like the whole thing is wailing. Think of like metal shearing against metal. It's that sort of sound of a scream of a noise.
But my strength is -1, so there's no way I'm going to be able to open this even if I... Like, the highest one I'll get is like 19.
I mean,
So where is this hut in the way of the boat at the moment?
Yeah.
It is.
It's not moving, so it's either ducking down, or if you guys take a step away off the really sort of minute porch, it starts dancing again until you approach it. I say dancing loosely. It's literally like lifting up one leg, putting the other one down, like doing that, and just constantly in that sort of flux.
So
we can't get rid of this hut because it's in the way. When we won't be able to progress with the boat.
Yeah, you have to find some way of getting rid of this hut,
Okay.
or getting it to move, or finding the occupant.
So if I have a look around, is there anything that might give me a clue to where this witch might be?
Yeah, perception, please, Ad.
20.
And do you have a specialty for tracking? Do you add half your level on for tracking?
I don't know. Where would that be?
Should be in your abilities. Oh, yeah. Okay, I can kind of get this character sheet up. Let's have a look. Let's zoom in.
I've got your character. I think I might have downloaded it. So
Adaptability.
You've got track. You gain +1 survival checks to follow tracks.
Okay, so that's 21.
Sorry, did you say you rolled 12?
I rolled 20. I rolled 12 plus my perception, which was 20.
20. So it's a survival check to follow tracks if you can find them.
Okay.
So it's 12 plus 6 plus 2, so that's 8.
20.
That's 20.
Yeah.
So same result, wasn't it? So yeah, you notice footsteps, small footsteps, sort of female-y type footsteps. Not that you can tell that there's a stiletto, but they're just noticeably smaller foot tracks than that of a man, and they sort of head into the wilderness at the side.
Okay, so just say to Angelus and Giles, I think she went this way.
Okay. Well,
I think the best bet is to track her down and try and negotiate.
yeah.
I'm cool with that. Let's go.
So you continue to follow these tracks, and you don't end up following them for long. If you keep following them to where they're going to go, it's about 20 minutes until you guys come across a clearing, and you see an old woman sitting on a stone with her legs crossed.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
She opens her eyes and peers at you, and she says, "You disturb me."
We've just come across your house and we need you to move it. We're willing to bargain.
She
We're
says,
terribly-
"You dare disturb a witch of winter."
We're
In my
terribly
solace.
sorry.
We wouldn't have done if it wasn't of importance.
She sort of breathes in and she says, "What do you offer?"
What would you desire?
She puts her hands together and she begins to mutter. And you see she starts waving her hands slowly again and again, like making bigger circles each time. And she does this for about 30 seconds. And she claps her hands back together and she says a word in a language you don't understand. And immediately she goes, "You have items that I may wish for."
Oh no. On our persons.
She nods slowly.
I get the feeling that
Okay.
she just looked into our entire inventory.
What kind of items?
She points at Dave and she says, "Come here, boy."
Okay. I sheepishly wander over.
As soon as you get within arm's reach, she darts a longer hand than you think, and she goes to grab the sort of around the scruff of your neck. Do you resist?
Um, the only thing I know I've got around my neck
Well, you got something
currently
earlier on.
is the Bevy's tits and wine medallion.
Davos.
Yeah.
Bevy's tits.
Yeah, but it protects you
Brevis.
against evil.
As in brevity.
I do not resist. I think.
She scrunches the front of your like the buckly type area, and you feel her sort of specifically grabbing the plate of the Brevis amulet, and she says, "This is what will make me move my hut. Magic."
All right.
It's up to you, Angelus.
Too easy. This is too easy, Angelus.
It does seem
Yeah.
quite easy, doesn't it?
This thing that you've got around your neck is worth more than we think. We just don't know what it is yet.
I get the feeling of that. What do I have?
Do you say all this out loud in front of her?
No. Say no, guys.
No.
Definitely not.
How? Because what I have in my person, I have my rapier and my bow, and I have a load of axes, don't I?
Yeah.
Can...
The axe is weighing you down, by the way, unless you've ditched things at the ship.
No, I've what I have ditched is. No, I haven't ditched anything. To be fair, I've kept everything with me. What can I can? Have I still have my dagger? Don't I? From I'm really encumbered. I still have my
No, you
dagger
gave that back to, was it Lee or Adu carries it for you?
I
your
carry it.
dagger. Yeah. So Lee's still
Okay,
carrying your
maybe.
dagger. You've got access. You need, if you didn't shed anything like your bedroll back at the camp, or are only taking one axe with you and you shed your bedroll, you're going to be lightly encumbered, which means you're going to take penalties for things like dexterity, physical based activities.
Okay.
Well, I mean, why don't we just, explain that when we said we're coming to barter, we meant what's on the ship, not what's on our persons.
She says there is nothing of interest on that ship. She says, there's only one item of interest, and that is the necklace.
Why do you want this necklace? Why is it an
She
interest?
peers at you and she says, magic. She says, unless you're prepared to offer me your heart, diviner.
No.
She's asking for Lee's heart, not yours,
No.
Ed.
I think
Dave.
I think we need to think about this and go back to the boat. We'll come back to you.
Be like, yeah, can we go have a? I'll be right back. And as I try and take her hand from me, like, okay, we're cool.
Her grip is steely strong,
Oh god.
and she slowly lets go, but not until like her fingernails stop touching the medallion are you able to break free of her grip.
Cool.
And she winds her arm slowly back in, and she says, I will be waiting. I may stay here longer than expected. And she closes her eyes, but for some reason you feel she's still watching you.
Cool.
Let's go back to the ship where let's go talk to Sved, shall we?
Yes. Okay, I've got an idea with that. Yeah, let's go with that.
I also want
We know-
to go speak to some people on this ship.
Yeah, we know our way back and we know where we're going. Don't we?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, it's not long, and in no time you're back near the ship, and you see like everyone who sees you like sigh a breath of relief, and someone shouts, "They're alive!"
Right. Does anyone know on this ship what this necklace does that's around Angelus's neck? Does anyone
shout to?
recognise it?
You just like literally hold it up and shout that at everyone.
yeah, I as
Mm.
mentioned it.
Yeah. So they sort of haul you back up onto the ship, and the person who ends up taking a look is oh god, I'm terrible with names without my Umber. I can just about make Umber out. So Umber has a quick look, and he says, well, there's something very unusual about this chain of brothers. He says, I have no idea what it does, but there's something definitely different about it. Spells, incantations. He says you can tell by, and he takes out a feather and he rests it upon it, and you notice that the feather sort of begins to rotate in the air and then fall gently on it. Like there's something like a weird aura about it, like a magnetic that you can't quite place. It's not very strong, but it's just enough to influence the tiniest speck of dust around it. And then you begin to see that it's sort of altering matter around it very slightly, very gently. There's something very odd
I've
about
had a
this necklace.
Yeah.
So we say to Sved and Vigo, go, this is what the witch is requesting. If we give her this, could this be a bad thing?
Vigo says, give the witch what she wants. We've got more important things to do. We've got a Jarl to elect.
Can
He
I?
says the Jarl's got a treasure trove of things. That's one necklace. We
Has
have
he been in
we
this
have an axe
situation
that belches fire on people. We have, he takes out his sword. He says this can cut through anything, and you see him sort of like swish it, and like a blade of lightning like shoots past his sword, and he resheathes it.
Okay.
He says we have magic plenty enough.
This is fine, but I mean, if Angelus is going to give this necklace away, I think Angelus should get one of these swords or axes, don't you, Angelus?
I do. Yeah. Let's go with that. Yeah.
He laughs and he says, these things are for nobility. He says that is a trinket.
Well, I mean, if you want us to give this necklace, I mean, Angelus should get something in return.
He looks at Umber. And Umber kind of sighs, and Umber says, I have potions.
Oh, do you now? We had no idea.
He says if Vigo agrees to it, I may be able to share some of the tribute with you.
Angelus, it's your necklace. It's your call. What do you want to do? I mean, I'm looking at one of these axes that they've just told us about. I'm thinking that would look very nice in your hand.
Yeah. thinking that. I'm also thinking to myself, so this hut is in the way. We know where the witch is. What happens if we attack the hut? What does the hut do?
Who'd you ask?
Everyone.
Okay. So naturally, the Master Osman comes up and he says, I hear they dance on the bones of children.
I've just got visions of a giant chicken leg bouncing through the air.
He says those chicken legs can kick an ox.
You're just a bundle of joy, you are, aren't you?
He says the winter witches kill the giants. He says giants are like thunder, they're like a storm. He can't kill a giant, but a winter witch does, and the huts do that too.
I have an idea. That is a terrible idea.
Mhm.
But I kind of want the idea because I get the feeling our DM is sending us this way anyway.
I'm sending you nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, Giles,
Hmm.
do you have a potion in your inventory?
Like the potions I have is I've got 2 for cure light wounds when you die, and I have a spell shield, which is to protect me or you during combat. We also have this giant potion,
Yeah, I've that enlarged person.
but I don't know how strong this witch is going to be. It's considering how strong her strip was
Well,
around your neck.
He's just said that the witches defeat giants, so
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I was thinking of the witches defeat the giants have a good shout at it too.
Why don't you test it?
he's dying in it.
What happens if we set
I was
fire to it?
thinking,
I mean, like, even if the giant has a wrestle
Magic
with the
hand.
house, surely the witch is going to come pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, the question I had was wondering if I could take this giantism and literally wrestle the house out of the water, not destroy it or break it, or just literally just basically move it using the strength, and just enough time for the boat to sail past.
I think we'd have to do a knowledge check on if that's possible.
You know these sticky arrow bag things?
Mm. Stick them to play.
Are they
Remove them.
can I hold anything, or?
They can hold. They're pretty strong. I mean, the way they were described to you is it meant it would take a really strong person in order to break free of being stuck to the ground.
Okay, so I was thinking if Dave wrestled that house and then we shot the house, stuck it to wherever, but by the sounds of that, it could break it quite easily.
These chicken legs look super muscly. I mean, this is a shack. This is a house. This is something that weighs on par with a boat on legs, and it's hopping around like it's nothing.
Can you make fire, Giles? Kentucky Fried Hut.
Kentucky Fried Hut. That is so many food restaurant chains in just one sentence, isn't it?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've probably got. I don't think I can make fire, but I'm pretty damn sure I have a lighter.
Just trying to hold its chicken leg still.
Well,
Hold up.
you see, I don't see anything. I'm just going through. I don't have a great deal of spells really for this
See, I'm
type of
thinking
thing.
if you give her this necklace thing, is she just going to transform into something big and hideous?
I do
Even
have.
worse.
I've got a magic weapon. Gives a weapon a +1 enhancement bonus on attack and damage. Moment of Greatness. The caster and allies within a 50-foot burst I don't know. Murderous command. One living creature is compelled to kill its ally. Well, I didn't read that one before. That's going to be fun. Missed that one, guys. God damn. I could have used that last time. Jesus. Right. I think this witch is just going to be high power. The only thing it's magic. That's the problem. We're going against if we're going against a witch, I think really the only way we're going to get past her is by giving her this magic thing. But then none of us really need it because none of us are sorcerers or wizards. So maybe we should just give it her and get this thing out of the way.
But it was a gift to me, man.
It might be your life.
But it's my Bevis talisman, man. It's all about tits and wine and
Yeah, but you've only had it for half a day.
half a day's a long time. Can by how
Oh, how? Spark. Ignites
I think
flower.
Lee's the same track as me here.
I've got.
Do you not have to be very close range to spark?
It's one fine object ignites flammable objects. I mean, it's not exactly flammable, is it?
I'm just thinking though, if we spark up on this house thing, that witch is going to come and whoop her asses pretty quick.
Yeah.
But then she's got to deal with the whole boatload of people, hasn't
Oh,
she?
do you think they're gonna help?
No, just us.
How about this? Can Lee, do you have any spells in your inventory that can curse an object?
One sec. Curse an object. Okay.
Give an object.
I can curse water. See.
Still need to get to this outpost, tell you.
Nice.
Ooh. Can we? Has anyone else on the boat got an amulet or a chain or something of that variety and a sack?
Some people have necklaces. There's certainly sacks aboard.
My curiosity stands is like, can we, by some way, trick this witch into taking a sack of some random necklace?
But is she going to figure out pretty quick that it's not what she wanted?
Potentially.
I think we're just kind of stuck, you know. I think you've just got to give it.
Giles, do you have any? Oh,
What?
I've got an idea. Giles, do you still have turning objects into light things, turning them into light beams?
Yeah, I could touch her and make it light, sure.
Perfect. How about this? How about this as a what's it? Can we can we go us three go back to the witch with the amulet? And my challenges to the witch is where before I give the amulet away, she has to call her house away from the water. And once we see the house, Giles, you curse an arrow with light, and all of you fire it into the air as a signal for the ship to move forward. And then
But
we later.
this is a witch that can probably rip our boat to shreds. not going to move fast.
I just think the ship's got to move. Yeah, she's going to realise before the boat's had a chance to move, surely.
That necklace needs to go.
Okay.
I mean, it's all that or we go into battle. But I don't have anything that's gonna defeat this thing.
I have a stealth attack. Giles,
Mm-hmm.
do you fancy giving my dagger back?
Yeah, why don't you offload some of your stuff onto the boat while we're here?
I'll offload my bedroll, my my bedroll, and my sword in exchange for my dagger. Am I still over encumbered? I am, aren't because I have 4 axes.
Yeah, lose your bedroll. Like basically lose everything but weapons, Dave, and armor.
Sounds
That's
good
what
to
you
me.
need to lose. Can someone roll a perception for me?
Sure.
God damn it. I don't like perceptions.
17. Oh wait, 17 plus my perception. 21.
Add what you got.
10.
Lee?
16.
16. So, Dave, your character Angelus, he hears Yarrow, the handsman, talking, and he says, "Can't we just pick up the boat and take it by? I thought that's what these boats were for." And the other guy goes, "We don't have nearly enough people to do that. No, but these boats normally have 20. With 20 people, you can take them up onto the shore. You can take them round. It wouldn't be a problem. You can carry these things up mountains, but we just don't. We don't have half the people you need."
I know exactly where this is going.
So can I drink the enlarged person potion and carry the boat myself?
You can get. Who has the enlarged person potion?
Me.
Okay. So, are you going to drink it?
Or do you want me to drink it, Ad, because I have more strength?
I don't think it matters once you're enlarged, does it? But yeah, I'll chuck it you, Dave. You can
Freaking chuck it!
drink it.
Jesus, better catch that.
Yeah, 60 gold or whatever that was.
Well, if that's what we want to do.
Is it what you want to do? Do you get the strength of 10 men? That's the question.
Do we?
You don't know.
So does it doing this? Is this bypassing the witch? Just carrying it round?
I think that's an assumption you'll have to try and make.
Can I make a perception check on the wilderness around me?
Yeah, of course you can. I mean, that was a really high perception anyway.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
I want to look if there's an easy route to take the boat around, away on the other side of the shore from the wake and and around the hut to get around to the other side.
I mean, this is a river that widened at one bit into a small lake. It's narrowed off where the witch has a hut. Like, it's clearly been planted very purposefully. However, it's a very gravelly shore around. So it's the water bit. The sentinel hut is sort of sitting in the dancing hut. Around it, it's just it's gravel, basically, sort of rising up into a kind of a beach. So you would be able to potentially drag it on the gravel if you could drag it, but that is a big but and if and woulda, shoulda, coulda kind of thing.
See, I do have the horrible feeling that giving this witch this amulet is going to be a bad thing. I think it's going to come back on and bite us. But I don't want to run the risk of losing giant ass potion if we
Yeah.
can't do the boat.
Got no ideas. The problem.
I mean, alternatively, I'll drink the potion. If we can't drag the boat, I'll just turn around and uppercut the chicken house.
I like that idea.
Can you just pick it up and launch it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you guys going to do?
Go on, Dave. I mean, is there any way we can find out what this potion will do? The guy, let's go back. The guy on the boat gave us a potion. Ask him.
Yeah.
Let's go ask him how strong this potion makes you. Is it
Yeah.
enough for 10 men? Will it allow us to move this boat? And is it going to give you that hammer?
He says 10 men, probably not. He says the strength of a giant, definitely. A weaker giant, probably. He says to attack that hut, I doubt it. To lift this boat, you're going to need a lot of help.
Okay, so that's useless then.
Well,
Yeah, we don't have the help.
He
do
says
we?
unless we can think of something clever with this boat, he says the strength would be good. He said certainly maybe you'd be able to pull it up onto the gravel. To take it round that thing, you're going to need to think of a bit more than that.
What about if we've got the people on this boat to push it with the giant, all of us together, 10 plus us 2 and the giant. Obviously, Dave will be the giant.
He nods and he says it's for me it'd be worth a go.
Okay, we'll give it a go.
I think that, and besides giving the thing to the witch, that's the only two choices, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Let's try and push it.
It's either giant up or go talk to the witch.
It's giant plus everyone's going to push this boat on board. Or try to push it on board. It might work, it might not.
Can we do a question to the crew? Are you willing to push the boat?
They're not. They're anxious to get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know about this amulet. It's a random amulet. There's a chance it's a good amulet. There's a good chance we could use it later on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather not lose it. It's just it comes to us getting by, you know. Come on, let's give the potion a go. Let's see if we can get out of here.
Push the boat.
Has anyone got any rope?
Yeah, I think we've all got rope.
There'll be rope on the boat, surely. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of rope. Lots of rope. It's a boat.
Okay. All right then. All right then. I will ingest this random liquid.
Name of your sex tape.
Clip.
We've set the tone of this campaign, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. That got clipped.
That's fine. That's fine indeed.
I just realised that I'm going to take this potion and all I'm going to get is a giant wang.
Have you drunk it?
Hang on. All right, lads, good luck.
So you begin to double in size until you're very large and you feel exceptionally strong. You don't feel as nimble as you did, though. You feel definitely like you notice not just you've grown, but your gear has grown as well. So the rapier that was at your side is now a very large rapier, like a rapier a giant would use. Your clothes exceedingly large. Everything about you is now twice the height of a regular man. You're probably about now 10 feet tall, nearly double your size. You've become very broad and basically you feel like the sky's the limit. The boat is still very big in comparison to you. I mean, the boat is about what he says, like he's able to measure it with this crappy screen. go. So the boat's 90 foot long.
Bloody hell, okay.
So it's still a lot of boat for one man, even a giant man. And the crew begin to get out lash ropes and start to try and pull. And you notice with their efforts, they're just kind of tugging the boat up the gravel slightly.
So it's moving. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just with them, not with me.
Just them.
Okay.
They can't lift up the boat like they normally would be able to. They could, there's 13 in comparison to 20. They're 7 men short, essentially.
Come on, Dave.
Right. Well, I will lumber my way to the back of the boat.
Can I get a strength check, please, from you?
Most certainly can. 15.
15.
Plus my
Right, time
strength,
to make
sorry.
a few rolls of my own.
15 plus my strength, sorry. Plus 1, 16.
Okay. So you begin to drag this boat up into the gravel very slowly but surely, and it takes a little while, but you begin to get it up to the side of the hut, and then very slowly it starts to push out. And as the potion wears off, the nose of it starts to dip into the water, and you've managed to successfully skirt the sentinel hut. And you hear the shrieking from the hut getting like it's just constant now because of how close the boat is to it. It's just going "Ah, ah, ah," shrieking really loudly, and the oarsman screams, "Get on the boat! Row! Row! Row!" And you all like scramble on, and you're now regular size. Your clothes feel a bit baggy, but all of a sudden they shrink back to you, and you scramble on, and you all begin to row past this thing.
Right.
And you row past in the water. You guys eerily feel somebody watching you from the shore, but think nothing of it as 10 minutes pass by, and that awful sort of chilly feeling on the back of your neck disappears. And you see the hut in the distance slowly start to shuffle inland.
Excellent.
Feel better.
You arrive at the outpost, and the session ends there.
Woohoo!
Oh,
Oh, thank God I managed to make it through a session without having to get into combat. Jesus.
By the way, fighting the witch or the hut would have been an exceptionally bad idea. One kick from that
thought
hut
so.
is a one-hit kill.
Oh, really?
Jesus.
Yeah, if not one hit unconsciousness. I said I don't pull punches.
Yeah.
I haven't really read. I thought about 15 different solutions to this problem while I was making it, but it's easier to think of solutions when you're doing it. Pulling the boat as a giant was one of them. There were ways to try and trick the witch, but you'd have to be quite clever, but you don't have an awareness of what spells she was using, so that would be a bit of a difficult one. You'd have to make an item magical in order to pass it off as a magical item.
Which
Yeah, that's what
I
I came with. Yeah.
think you could do.
Which, yeah, it's in your repertoire, Lee. But as I said, there were a couple of things that you'd be able to do. A lot of them trying to navigate the boat and move other things rather than the hut. The other would potentially be digging, but I didn't want to limit your solutions to this problem, if that makes sense. But yeah, giving her the medallion was one of them, and there would have been no ill side effects. She just wanted the medallion before she went. At least not in that session. Not in this session. I thought I should let you know that in case you felt that I railroaded you a bit there. But I'm always up for inventive ideas and creative solutions to things. But it was a particularly difficult challenge. But yeah, the witch was very powerful and would have killed you very quickly as well as a party unless you managed to run away from her.
See,
So
Dave,
yes.
Angelus, it was good to listen to us on this
It
occasion.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
Do I still keep my enlargement?
No, it's
gone.
worn off, I'm afraid, and that
It's all
potion
gone.
has gone. But if you rolled
Well, that's-
poorly, you wouldn't have done it. If you rolled poor,
Okay.
you did it. You got some very good assists. You got +2 from everyone there, and if you did not match the score that I wrote down, it wouldn't have happened. You'd have had to have done something else.
Oh, no way.
So
Okay.
yeah, lucky.
Literally, I got it by like a point or something.
You got it by like 3 points. But that could have been a very
Okay.
different roll. You'd have had to have rolled above average to get it. If you'd
Right,
rolled
okay,
9,
cool.
you wouldn't have got it.
Right.
Wouldn't
Okay,
have
cool.
happened.
It's a good job you used my gold dice on that one.
Oh well. So nice, good session, guys.
Excellent.
Yeah,
That was good.
awesome as
And that,
always.
as they say, is that. Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
Mm.
And no combat this one. I want to try, hopefully, try a combat-free session.
That's it. When I have to start the
Makes
next
a
session
change.
with Joel's.
You know, the only reason I mapped out the boat is because I was worried you might kill everyone. And I thought I need stats for everyone. I was tempted not to map out the boat and think, oh, I don't have to create a special map for this session. But I thought, they're going to kill everyone, aren't they? They're going to try and kill everyone. Lee's going to try and sacrifice them to his god. They're going to set the boat on fire. God, I need stats for I need stats for the boat. I need stats for the merchants. I need stats for... I shit you not, I've got stats for everything. Because I thought you might start a fight on this fucking boat.
We nearly did.
I thought, this is a peaceful ship, and they're gonna try and kill everyone, aren't they?
DM knows
So
too well.
I'm not risking it. I'm making sure that there's stats for everybody in case you fight them.
Well, look at what happened at the start with the cinnamon.
My question is, Lee, is you only took 1/6 damage off him.
Night. Oh.
Well, let's take
So that dude's
have a
still-
look. 6.
Your bleeding touch takes 1d6 damage off him.
So that poor
Yeah, but
bastard just sitting in his own piss and shit and vomit and cinnamon.
I'm not saying he survived. I'm saying there's a possibility he survived.
I was going to
That's
say
all I'm putting out
he
there.
was very weak, so like
He was very weak.
That's why I didn't even give it a second thought, because I just it was that weak for 1d6, because I'm looking at it here, 6 damage.
But I'm just letting you know, I've got some appropriate rolls to make after the session.
Oh no.
To see if this poor bowman can make it back to his family or not, or whether Olgri spots him and finishes him off.
So he just better hope I never see him again.
Yeah.
Did anyone see that little boat following us? On the
Yeah, that heavily bleeding man with a scowl on his face and some cinnamon in his eyes, his cinnamon tears. It's when you go to a bar and there's a plate in front of you and it's just cinnamon and you realise the waiter's him and he's like pushing your face in it.
It will be like season 2, episode 4. Cinnamon Man comes back for revenge.
I'll make the note now and make sure I wait 100 episodes. And he'll be the Cinnamon King. He'll have figured out a way of torturing people using cinnamon, and he'll have taken over the Norvald underworld.
He'll torture people with the cinnamon challenge.
Call him the cinema.
That is, I can safely say, Ad, you used all that cinnamon. So if you want to remove it from your character sheet, torturing someone with a small bag of cinnamon is expensive business.
But worth it.
That was the most expensive and inventive torture I think I've ever seen. I thought you were just going to take off his fingernails with your dagger or some shit like that, but the cinnamon challenge was truly unique.
Good.
That was beautiful.
Again, this is a chaotic neutral character. This is not an evil character who's using spices to torture a man.
That's it. See, I didn't want to take his fingernails off, did I?
You just wanted to burn his sinuses out.
Exactly.
Chaotic good.
He started out chaotic good. 3 actions of his has already reduced him to nearly evil.
Yeah, I'm waning.
You're waning, yeah. Pretty soon you will be chaotic evil. Lee hit chaotic evil a long time ago. Lee's you're playing your character spot on, Lee.
I think it's hanging out with Giles is rubbing off too much.
I think so, yeah. This has become an evil party. Definitely. You guys are due a level up, by the way. Do you guys want me to automatically level you up and resend out character sheets?
That'd be
If you don't
brilliant.
mind, that'd be
I'm
awesome.
Yeah, I just think we can mess around with character sheets for another campaign. I think it's boring leveling up for now.
Yeah, sounds good.
okay, cool.
And I'll readjust the items on your character sheet accordingly. Can you guys email me copies of your logs of what you have and what you don't have? I've made a rough note, but instead of me having to try and guess who got what, if you guys send me what items you have,
Yeah.
I'll put them on your new character sheets.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
I will send you that now. Email.
Thank you. Yes, please.
I'll send you that in a minute.
Mm.
Right.
Sorry?
I'll send you that. I'll send you that in a minute.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't have to be now. It can be sometime this week. But you guys feel a lot stronger after that mission, and you are now the next level. Sadly, Lee, you don't get new spells for the next level, but you get more this level. So you can cast more spells, but you don't get nice level 2 spells until the level after that.
Oh. Okay. What's going off here? Right. Okay, cool. I'll going to end the stream there for myself.
No worries.
Same, done.
Sweet.